Top Hill Recording Podcast, episode 201. Our guest tonight, Taylor Katherine Trio.
You're a little bit of sunshine in a glass of whiskey neat. You're a storm in the springtime and the grass underneath my feet. You're so fine, I wanna make you mine. You're so good, I know I never could. You're the songbirds in the morning and the silence of the night. You're the flowers when they're blooming and the leaves when they begin to die. It's so cruel the way I'm missing you. It's so unfair to say you never cared. But you only want me when you're lonely, and you don't call when she's in town. Don't wanna be your one and only. Darling, I don't even chase my booze. I'm not chasing you. No, 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 I'm not chasing you. You're the first sip of coffee on a cold December day. And I hope that you know CPR, 'cause you take my breath away. You're so fine, I wanna make you mine. You're so good, I know I never could. You're the glow of the moonlight and the stars up in the sky. You're my favorite hello, but I hate it when we say goodbye. It's so cruel to be in love with you. It's so unfair the way you're never there. But you only want me when you're lonely, and you don't call when she's in town. I don't wanna be your one and only. Darling, I don't even chase my blues. I don't wanna be the one you choose. I'm not chasing you.
Oh my.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've got my share of demons. It's the only thing that keeps me warm at night. And I know you don't believe it, but if I that was just a way for me to get you out of my head. Because I've been the fool before, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I won't give my heart to anyone. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. Turn on the radio to listen to tunes, and every song I hear just makes me think of you. Don't know what it is about you that gets me so high, but if I don't forget about you, I might not be alright. Saw you at a show with your new chick, made me more jealous than I'm willing to admit. Said I was over you, but I guess that was a lie. It's just easier than telling you you're always on my mind. Because I've been fooled before, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I won't give my heart to anyone. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. Maybe someday in the future I can finally figure out my fucked up heart. But if that day comes and you ain't the one, then I guess that means you and me were meant to be apart. So for now it's just me and a bottle. It keeps me company when I'm feeling down. Darling, I give it all up for you. If you really want me to, I'd do anything to keep you around. I'd do anything to keep you around. Because I've been fooled before, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I won't give my heart to anyone. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. I guess that's why I'm always on the run. Kentucky moon. Air made me shiver, but I was warmed by the fire with you. Ooh, you were shining from the glow of the lights on the stage. You took my hand and you spun me around, and I knew right then I wanted you to stay. This has never happened before. You stole my heart on the dance floor. This has never happened before. You stole my love at first sight. Sweet baby girl. She made that baby her whole wide world. Her daughter, she became a mother when she was just 22. And so she did everything that her daughter couldn't do. She always told that baby she was worthy and beautiful too, till she believed it was true. That's what real love will do. 17 years, and that girl is grown up, working her way through college, and she meets first love. She finds out she's expecting, doesn't know what to do. First person she tells is Bobby Sue. Her granddaughter, she became a mother when she was still just a child. If she'd had it her way, she would have seen her walk down the aisle. But she looked that little girl in the eyes and said, I will always love you, no matter what you do. That's what real love will do. That's what real love will do. That's what real love will do. Make you believe that you're worthy and beautiful too.
Wow.
You guys are so good.
I got to chill. Taylor Katherine Trio. And we're so excited to have you back, Taylor. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So you got some new additions with you. Why don't you introduce the guys for me?
All right. Well, over here to my left, this is Eric Condon, and he plays bass for us most of the time. He's also really sick on guitar.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
And over here to my right, this is Richard Chandler, and he is an amazing guitarist. He's one of the best guitarists in Louisville, like in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, and also one of the best vocalists, like
Oh, yeah.
straight up.
No doubt.
I've never heard a man that sounds like that. So
You forgot my last name for a second.
Chandler?
I noticed it.
I said
Hey, man.
I wanted to say chandelier.
Sometimes you got to think, I'm terrible with names. So
I am awful with names.
Oh my God. I'm so bad. That's one of my biggest fears in life is having to say somebody's name. I mean, like, even when I could just meet you guys came in last time and I knew your name when you recorded, because you got, these guys have been in and done a little bit of recording with me. And so after the first time, I actually remembered you, which shocked me. And
We're very memorable.
Mm-hmm. And it's not because you're not memorable. It's because I'm just terrible with names. I'm so scared to get somebody's name
Oh, it's
wrong.
like on my job, I have I talk to people all day, but I have charts. And so I go into rooms and I'll be like, how's it going, Mr. Johnson? Like every fucking time without fail. I can look right at it and forget by the time I go in.
I still don't know what to call you half the time.
Whatever.
Because your stage name is not the name I know.
Earl's
you
my middle name, and so that's what a lot of people know me as BJ. That's been a nickname since I was a kid, but
Catherine
I'm cool
is
with
my
either.
middle name too.
Yeah. So,
It'll always be BJ to me.
it's Earl to me too.
I always say, as long as you don't call me an asshole, I don't care. So.
Well, don't
don't call
talk
me
to
late for
Richard
dinner.
then.
Talking to you, Richard.
Yeah, Rich, evidently that's Richard's favorite word. That's what we've heard. Yeah. So, quick story about BJ Earl. So we just played a show together.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Your band
man.
was awesome, man. Like
Thank you.
you all should have been the last band.
No.
That was a hard act to follow.
No, man, it was a blast. We haven't played in forever, but it was super fun. But when we were there with Tyler Hood played as well, and he said, "Hey, something about BJ," and I went, huh. And it took me a minute. And I was like, Earl, I'm finally making the connection.
Yeah.
So, and I also got to meet Earl's mom, who's awesome, and talked. I think I talked
She's
to
a
her
good lady.
about 10 minutes, man. We sit
She'll
there.
talk to you forever. I was talking to her on the phone on the way, and I was like, Mom, I gotta fucking go. I am here. I gotta get off the phone. She's just chatting away.
Yeah, she's
Your
great.
dad's
man.
pretty cool too.
Yeah, he's chill. He won't talk as much, but that's good sometimes. Like when I'm in a hurry, like just say what's up, and he's like, fucking nothing. That's the end of it.
So Taylor, we've done this before, and we've kind of got your backstory a little bit. So I really kind of want to talk about what you've been doing, getting with these guys, starting to really starting the process of making records, getting your name out there, and it's like snowballing pretty quickly. You're definitely becoming, not only because you play and you put yourself out there, because of the songwriting and the things that you're doing are just different and interesting and awesome. So I think we had you in July in our old hot, sweaty studio.
Yeah, that was
there you
very
go.
hot.
That was about the peak of the heat. But yeah, so since July, I've seen your name everywhere. You formed the trio. Give us just a little bit of, from your perspective, what the last 6-7 months has been like for you.
I feel like since I started playing with Richard and Eric, that doors have opened for me and for us, and these festivals, these venues, these places I didn't think I was ever going to get to play. They've heard us together, and they're like, "We want you here." So I've got a lot of stuff already booked for this year coming up. That I'm really excited about, and it really is because of these guys. And I know that I'm good by myself. Okay, let's not get that twisted. Mm-hmm. But these guys have just enriched what I do already by myself that I couldn't do alone, and people want to hear it all together. And so yeah, I mean, I've got this recording going on, and I've got festivals and shows that I've always wanted to play, and people I've always wanted to play with that are playing with us now, and venues I've always wanted to play that want to book us now, and it's really, really exciting, and I'm really, really glad that these guys are my friends and that they want to play with me.
It's kind of wild about that, really, in my opinion, and looking at it from my perspective, and Earl probably has a good opinion on this too. You don't have a record out. You don't have anything on spot.
You don't really have shit. Like you don't have much of anything.
Thanks.
So you got one single, it's great, but that's it.
Yeah, you have Sober Up. Sober Up is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that freaking song. I'm so sick of it.
What you can never not play because it's awesome.
It's
Anytime
so
you play
good.
out. Yeah,
It's
it
so
really
good.
is. But the fact that to be able to book a summer, to book into the year, without having this catalog of stuff other than live appearances, a little bit of that Sober Up, a little bit of the doing some podcasts and things like that. It's just wild to me.
It's really impressive.
It's super impressive, and it doesn't happen often.
It makes me really, really grateful because to know that is what's happening means that there are people coming to my shows that are people that talk to these venue owners or are these venue owners. Like they hear about me and they want to come, or they see my social media presence and they want to come. That because I haven't. Yeah, I mean, it's completely grassroots shit right here.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I mean,
it really is.
It's really cool to see. And I know you mentioned some venues you're stoked to play. What do you have? Where are you right now? Are you most excited to go play?
I'm super excited. This podcast is going to come out afterwards, but I'm super excited to play at Zanzibar.
Just after,
somewhere I've wanted to play forever.
Next
2 days after.
Some of my favorite acts that I've seen in Louisville have played at that place.
Me too. Yeah.
And
amazing.
Before COVID, I saw Lost Dog Street Band there, and I knew that was the last concert I was going to see forever. But I mean, and then I get to play that show with people that I care about as musicians, and I'm just really excited about that. And I get to do the Monarch too with Top Hill Takeover.
We love them.
and-
Yeah, we love them.
yeah. Those are two places I really wanted to play, and I'm working on Millwood. That's another place I really want to play.
yeah, that would be great.
Mhm.
That'll be no problem for
Yeah.
you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, well, there's a big festival happening with all of the people that we love and know in Louisville that play music around here. Pretty much everybody that I follow locally that I know personally is going to be playing that festival, and that's it's going to be called the Moonshadow Festival.
Mhm.
It's in Medora, Indiana, in April during the eclipse.
Oh,
We get
cool.
3.5 minutes of totality in the spot that we're going to be at, and the trio is going to be playing the pre-party the day before the eclipse.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's a
Super
great
cool.
lineup on
And
that bill.
I've been looking forward to that all year. It is a great lineup.
It is really great. Yeah.
You know, and then we've got Fuzzy Pig coming up in April too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much great stuff coming on. And Earl Bowman's going to be there as well.
Fuzzy Pig?
Yeah, I will be there.
So I do believe that Top Hill will be there as well. So those
Yeah.
guys will be in a couple weeks before. I think April 15th. I think we
Yeah,
just
right
locked
before.
in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That they're going to be here and
Those are some of my
promoting that.
favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah.
They are great, great, great guys.
Well, what they're doing, just supporting musicians and doing something like that. Anytime that you put yourself in a position to do that and to promote other people, and you actually take that position, it's honorable. It's really, really neat to think that there's so many people like that in this scene.
I was just thinking that there's so many little local festivals, and honestly, the local little festivals are always my favorite ones to go to. Like
Mhm.
Bourbon and Beyond and all that shit's super dope. I go to those, but there's nothing like a little bitty festival, like with just like a close knit group of people, even if it's only like 60 people at the festival. Like I've seen some of my favorite acts at little bitty festivals. It's always a cool time.
Port Castle.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Port.
Yeah.
Port Castle is the big reason I got into music. When I first moved back to Louisville, went to Port Castle, and I was like, these people are amazing. I talked to you about it. Like Buddy Crime, who's been on here,
Yeah.
I saw him and was like, this guy's fucking wild. And I'm like, I got to make some music. And yeah, I love Port Castle.
These smaller festivals also lead to the bigger festivals that happen regionally. The Moonshiners Ball, for example, is
Yeah.
one of the biggest festivals that happens in Kentucky, besides, the Live Nation festivals that go on. And a lot of the people that get booked there are discovered at these small events that we all get to play now. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, that's always exciting to think about. That's a venue I would love to play too.
It offers accessibility to other musicians, other artists, fan bases. If that, I think that especially when you're trying to build a base, that having those experiences at festivals where you can go out, you can watch other music, see other people. When other people see you excited about watching other people's music, I think it humanizes you a little bit. And when you're in situations like Fuzzy Pig, and you're gonna be a fan as much as a musician, So it's just awesome to watch that ball keep building.
Yeah. I mean, we had a blast at Swarptoberfest last year. Like, yeah.
Swarptoberfest?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got wild out there.
Do you know
in
what a
Eastern
swarp
Kentucky.
is? Anybody know what a swarp is?
No.
It's when you go out of your county, out of your state, out of county lines, and you throw a fucking party.
Swarp?
And it's called a swarp.
Okay.
So we went up on top of Pine Mountain in Eastern Kentucky and we swarped.
I love it. I love it. So you guys will miss your all's date by a couple days, unfortunately, so we can't promote it. But you guys are part of the lineup for our first Top Hill Takeover at the Monarch, which we are super excited about. I think this comes out a week or so before. So this is actually a promotion.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. We don't promote very well. This is great. All right. So just to kind of solidify and let everybody know what the idea is, because we really haven't talked about it at all, other than when Mark was here and we were kind of spitballing. But Top Hill Takeover, we're just going over. The idea is to eventually give Mark a day off once a month at least. He'll be at the first one. But it's where we just come in on a Sunday and put together a lineup of 3 or 4 artists, half-an-hour sets, nothing crazy. Really kind of a way, hopefully we get a bunch of people that have been on this show that want to come and hang out and talk to other artists, kind of like, we talked about with those festivals and things like that, where you can make those relationships. Because Earl, like every time we have somebody in here, he's like, let's do a gig together.
Yeah, every time I'm like, we got to do a show.
Which is awesome because it does create that. And it's not always somebody that sounds like Earl. It's not a country act. It can be anybody. And it'd be like, dope, well, let's do a show together. And then I'll look at your schedule and it'll have 3 people that you've said that to where you do it. And it's awesome to build those. And I'm hoping that the Monarch turns into something like that to where we can kind of open it up early and let people come hang, and then the show starts.
That's the best part of the Monarch, honestly, is, the shows are always great, but just the chill at the Monarch is cool. It's cool to get there early or stay late and hang out on the patio.
Absolutely.
Just have a drink, have a smoke if you want, and just talk to fucking people you admire. Like, it's cool to like see an act and then go outside and be like, holy shit, that was awesome. Like, and get to talk to them. I've seen some cool acts in there, and everyone's always very just welcoming.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a selfish. That's the thing. That's the thing. Richard said
that everyone's paying attention to you.
They're here to see music. I've said it last on episode 200, but they sell nothing. I wish to God he'd sell merch and make some money on merch, just so he could have some, easy money coming in. Because everybody that walks through that door wants to support that place. Yeah. They would buy a shirt. They would do whatever it takes to keep
shirts, stickers, he needs some stuff.
Anything. And the more that people see it, the more they'll be like, oh, the Monarch, I've heard about that place. And I think that it is there. But anyway, they don't sell anything. People are there to hear what's up. And that is the most, they listen to lyrics. They understand. A lot of the people there are musicians that are listening to all the parts and trying to break it down. I mean, it's just so...
It's great. Awesome. I've done shows there where like I'll play songs I don't play anywhere else because I know no one gives a shit anywhere else. And I've had people talk to me after the set and be like, talk about songs that I don't play. And I'm like, I don't ever play that song because no one ever listens. It's a cool spot. Like, it's just it's a magical place.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, yeah, I think Taylor talked to, I don't know if it was on the podcast or right before, talking about the 3 and 4 hour gigs that are just exhausting, but kind of part of what you got to do from time to time to, do the thing, pay for stuff. And those, you kind of build into your head that you can't, especially if you're playing in O'Shea's, no offense to any bars, but bars that are there to have background music and the fun stuff. You've got to play the upbeat stuff. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear slow stuff. And they
want songs they know that are fun.
Yes.
To have fun too.
Yeah. So my wife, years ago when I was playing music, especially with the old band Voodoo Symphony, she'd be like, y'all got to quit playing slow stuff, man. Every time y'all play something slow, everybody leaves. It gets boring. He's like, I understand you all like it. It's cool. I mean, it sounds cool and you are grooving or whatever. But people want to hear, they want to dance. They want to do those stuff when we're at this A1A or 2 keys with the wall-to-wall people. They want to dance. So you've got to kind of, you can get real trained in the mindset that everything I play has got to be fast. Even original shows, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. And then you get to the Monarch or places where people really listen, and it's refreshing to be able to slow it down and take a breath and really show your songs that you wouldn't do in those situations. Anywho. So last thing before I quit talking, just the lineup of this thing. We've got the Jenkins twins committed.
They're fantastic. I don't know if you know them. You will love them, man.
Episode 199 comes out for, it'll be out. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
They're unbelievable. We got Taylor Katherine Trio, got Justin Miller and Elements of Sound, and then we got Ill Vibe Tribe is coming in. And I think what I was trying to show more than anything is the diversity of the music that we have. It goes from just this cool, and I think that it all flows perfectly together because it's just 4 great musicians, 4 great groups, 4 great musicians, 4 great bands. It's going to be awesome. Looking super forward to it. So anyway, I feel like I've talked for 35 minutes. Did I?
It's been 19.
I've talked 18. Your turn.
Well, I'm just stoked to see you all. Like, Taylor, we started going to open mics like around the same time, like a few years back. And it's cool to like see all the cool stuff that you're doing. I'm super stoked that I've heard some of the stuff you've all recorded here. I'm excited. Tell us a little bit about the album you're working on.
The album that we're working on is going to be a compilation of all of the songs that basically I play out now.
Which are all bangers.
It's about 8,
You
9.
put that mic up there, man.
Sorry. Like 8 plus a couple in progress. Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. We're hoping to have about 10 songs on it.
You could release 8 right now with just top bill stuff at this point.
Yeah, we could. We were
It's
talking
4 and
about
4, easy to go. You're ready. Just go with it.
But these are all the songs that I wrote early in my I guess musicianship or
That
whatever.
was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I wrote all these 2 years ago. I've been playing them for like 2 years, and I'm ready to get them on an album and write more material and do more. And I know that I don't mean this in any kind of like cocky way at all, but I know that like what we do is good, and I know that we can go somewhere. And so I'm excited to start with this and see where it goes. And I'm really, really grateful that Top Hill reached out to me to offer to help me do this album, you know, because I wouldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah, you need music out. Like, you're really good.
Yeah.
Like I say all the time when I talk about
Everybody asks me where they can hear it, and I'm like, I got one song.
Yeah, I know. Anytime I talk about you, I say I don't know anyone I've met like in music of anyone that has written like just like straight bangers like you do. Like every song that you all like that you do. I mean, the band does, but just any song I've ever heard you do is so good. You'll be like, I've only written like a couple handfuls of songs, and they're all any song you've ever played out is just amazing. It's so interesting because like when I've written tons of songs that no one will ever fucking hear because they're horrible, and I feel like
I have a bunch of them like that too.
Well, I've played some of them out, and I've never heard you play out anything that wasn't just stellar stuff.
Thank you so much. I feel the same way about you.
You know, I don't know about you, but I was really kind of digging into the lyrics of just basically everything. You know, I think I've heard you enough now to kind of be able to say you're kind of a romantic. You know, you write a lot of songs about love. I mean, Bobby Sue.
That's what I'm trying to get out of. I'm trying to get that album out, so I'll never got to write a love song ever again. I hate it.
Yeah, you're like you know. I was paying attention. I was like, man, she loves love. Tell me about it. So why
I don't want to tell you about it.
So why do you want to? Do you think even if you get these out, will the
That's
next
what the songs
still,
are for.
do you think the next set will be about love, regardless of what you think? You ready?
I think
move on?
I think that love is like the easiest emotion and the most common emotion that we all feel as humans. We all feel it. We really do. And so for me, when I was starting out writing songs, I mean, and at the time also, like I was going through a divorce. I was going through a lot of emotions that love delves into, and I had a lot to say. And half of those songs are like, fuck you. And half of those songs are, I love you. And it really is true I could tell you the day that I wrote those songs and what I was going through that day. And that's all what that means is, I really didn't know who I was without being in love at that point in my life. I do now. And I want to get those out, and I want to move on from that, and I want to write songs that are about who I am, like Queen of the Trailer Park. That's not about love. Bobby Sue, that's about how I learned what love really was, you know, thinking about what you do unconditionally when you love somebody. And I want to write more songs like that are really about who I am as a person.
Yeah, that's killer.
And I feel like if I get all this bullshit out about love, which is like it's literally like broken me down and built me up and broken me down again, like made me who I am. And I want to get it out.
You know what it is?
I'm a really cool person because of all the people that have broke my heart.
It's like the Meet the Beatles album. It's a hard day. It's all about love. You just get that out of the way, and then you write the amazing stuff that the Beatles did.
Then you write the amazing
But
stuff.
here's the thing.
Then you write
the first stuff was amazing.
Yeah.
It's that, and that's where we're at. I mean, you know,
this will be great in years when I've listened back to it, and then I'm going to be more proud of myself when I listen to the next album and I say I've moved on from that, and that's like not the only thing I know how to write about anymore.
Yeah, but the thing that I think makes not only you interesting, but an interesting writer is when you can convey those emotions in a way that other people don't. And you find a way to do that and make people really, at least with me, really connect to what you're saying. You know, really kind of lean into those emotions. And I think, you know, looking at even the new stuff, you talked about Bobby Sue a little bit, that thing I had chills throughout like the last half of the song. So you have a way to convey what you're thinking that is that just bleeds with conviction. It's real. There's
Yeah,
nothing
it's real,
fake about
but
it.
it's like even though it's personal to you, it is still relatable. Like
Yes.
it's just like like I said, you write bangers, so you're a great writer, and the band is super cool. Like, and I've seen you all a bunch of times now. I mean, band's gotten real tight.
Yes.
Harmonies are great. All the playing is just like really it's a dope thing you got going. I'm excited to see what the year brings for you all.
I am too.
And I will say this about you guys and you all as the trio. I talked to Brad yesterday or the day before, because he's been mixing some stuff, and he absolutely loves the new couple recordings. He, especially the first one, he was like, it's perfect. He loves it. Thinks that you all play the right stuff. And just, so when I talked to him yesterday, I said, man, the difference in the first time that they came in and sat down to play and the
We were
last...
talking about that today too.
Yeah, the second time that you all came in to do stuff was night and day. It was a totally different experience on my end because you all just knew what you were going to do. You were totally together. You could tell that you'd spent time together. You could spend...
I was going to say, I think we had only played one show together when we first came in here, and we've played a numerous amount of shows since.
I had played a show. Eric hadn't even played a show.
Eric had never played with us yet.
I had known Taylor for like a month.
Yeah.
When we did this, and we practiced once.
Well, and I could tell you I knew that because we had tried to do a couple other things earlier, but because of scheduling conflicts, it had changed. And Taylor, you were thinking about this person and this person. And then when you guys finally came in as a trio, you could tell that this was going to be the thing. It wasn't going to be just these pieces thrown in, do this thing.
No, these are my homies.
Yeah, well, and you can tell that by the next time when you all came here, because the first time I think we were at the other place, right?
Yeah.
Second time here, and that for me on my end tells me pretty much all I need to know about the work ethic. It wasn't a month. I mean, it wasn't that long, month and a half, 6 weeks, whatever we could work into that next session. But to be able to put in the time and to listen to each other enough to be able to learn the parts and like Richard with those stupid, ridiculous harmonies, it's just on my end, it was so refreshing to have that be the case the second time. And even tonight, like you came in and nailed your song. So we'll probably have another record after this, I mean, just one of those deals.
So we need a Top Hill record.
Top Hill. There's a couple Top Hill recording things out there, yeah.
Zeno.
Yeah, speaking of Zeno, man, I've got to throw this out there. Zeno Jones is in the he might have, that's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Zeno Jones tomorrow will be down in Memphis. I don't know. And tomorrow, January, whatever this is, not when this is released. 4th, 5th, yeah. So he is up for in the top 5 for self-produced blues record by the International Blues Society.
I think it is, yeah.
Of America.
The International Blues Society of America or whatever it is. But it's just an amazing honor for him because the performance on that thing's sick. But it's also,
it's
Top
a big
Hill.
honor for you.
Yeah,
I mean, you all recorded that.
Really, Brad, man. I mean, I've got a big kudos to Brad.
That record sounds
one.
great. I played his LP the other day.
Yeah,
I know,
the
like
LP's
Lilac just had that live from Top Hill come out, and it sounds stellar as well. So I'm stoked to hear your all's album is. I mean, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Wild, man. It's kind of wild to think that all that stuff's going on.
Yeah.
But, anywho, that's wild. Anyway, so what are you thinking? You've got a lot of stuff booked in this next summer. We're in January now. What's the next couple months look like for you before we hit these festivals?
Well, I daren't speak for Captain Taylor as a rule. Oh, Lord. You forgot my name earlier. Anyway, I don't speak for her generally, but I mean, I think that the most important thing for us to do would be to write some stuff together. I mean, we've only kind of scratched the surface. We're just trying to, Eric and I, are just trying to accent work that she's already done, at this stage, So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to actually collaborating on some new songs together.
I am too.
So
I feel like now we can feel out how each other plays what we what we kind of want to put out there.
I mean, you can tell you all, like, I know you mentioned work ethic. I mean, you can tell you all of your practices have been good. Like, y'all aren't wasting apparently a lot of time in practice because you're a tight band. Like, I think for me, I think trio stuff is some of the harder thing to do because it's just three people. I feel like there's nowhere to hide. Like there's no loud drums. There's not like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And it's sometimes a trio's either good or they're like when I had played in a trio, we were kind of wacky. The trio stuff's hard, and I feel like you all do a great job at it. Like it really fits your songs. I feel like it's very different than how like you first started playing them out. Like I feel like when I met you years ago, it is. It's really cool to see. Yeah.
I remember meeting you years ago and maybe having one song or two songs of my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool to see how far you've come too.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, Taylor started writing like 2 years ago. Legit. Started playing uke a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, you're like, I'm going to do this. Not that you weren't already a singer and a trained and all that stuff, but just the fact that the evolution from 2 years ago to now, it will be very, very cool to see what influences these guys bring into.
They like a lot of really weird shit, so I'm very excited.
You're going to be like...
every time that they pick me up to drive us to a gig or something, I'm like, all right. I'm not even going to ask who this is. We're just going to vibe. I'm sure they'll write something.
And that's, that is a really crucial thing, I think, that to note is that Richard and I both, I think, certainly come from pretty different musical backgrounds than Taylor does. And that was the fact that she looked to us was something that was, in my mind, was like, she wants to do something different. She wants to do something that is not just like what everybody else is doing. Because, you've heard this voice. I mean, she could have Nashville session pros. I mean, this is like the fact that she was like, sees these two guys, these two schmucks, and says,
my favorite schmucks.
It shows that adventurousness that I don't, that we don't always see. And, and so that was what I was.
Well, yeah. Also just very flattering to be.
Certainly, yes, that too. Yeah. That's another thing. It's like when someone with this voice asks you to play with them, you don't say no.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't know how to play, you would learn.
When you get that call, you answer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you spoke to it. What was your, I guess, let's go back to your background from the beginning, man. Like, what you come up listening to? What are you listening to now? When did you really know that music was a thing that you were going to do?
Wow. Probably
you opened this door, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to, spend the whole time blathering about myself.
We got
Taylor's had a whole podcast, bro. Yeah.
It's your all's turn.
I got editability. If what you say sucks, I'll cut it out. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No. Yeah, go ahead. This is Eric's segment, man. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You can go.
Well, I started playing, started playing guitar when I was 9, which was in the 90s, 1994. So
guitar first?
Yeah. And I wanted to play bass, actually. I started playing guitar.
Really?
I wanted to play bass.
You are weird, man.
It is weird.
You wanted to be a bass player.
I loved bass from the beginning.
At 9 years old, you're like, I want to play the bass.
I got into Nirvana.
It was Chris Novoselic. There you go, dude.
Was my first. He was the first guy I ever knew what a bass was. When I learned what a bass was Chris Novoselic. And so from there, I just was like really musically precocious and was playing, watching MTV a lot in the 90s and kind of
they had music.
Reading music magazines. This is all pre-internet, by the way. This is before I ever had the internet. And just learning stuff, becoming a music nerd really young and coming up and starting to write songs and playing in bands and all that. And I've done that pretty much, there have been hills and valleys where I've played a lot less, where I focused more on other stuff, but generally it's always kind of been my thing. And I have, I met Richard in high school, and we started collaborating pretty early on. I mean, we were collaborating songwriting
for the first time. About 23 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
2001, 2002 is when we were first writing songs together and playing together and stuff like that. But we, have gotten more extensively in doing that in the last 10 years or so, playing with, we had a band for a while that was
the true house band.
Yeah. We never played out. It was a theoretical band. But we wrote a lot of really great stuff.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We were playing with a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Okay, so I noticed on your Instagram stuff that I always see you two together. So I was wondering if you guys played a lot outside, because you also do a lot of singing and playing as well, right?
Yeah.
With that voice you got too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's very sweet of you to say.
Taylor, you can come in, man. Come
No,
on.
you're just
It's
standing
all right.
there. It's your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, come on in.
If you left, you have to stay out. That's
No reentry.
Yeah, so
You got a bartender in here,
a bartender, yeah.
Richard?
I'm sorry. I lost my train of
All
thought.
right, so just going back, I know you're playing a lot. Outside of playing with Taylor, you do your own thing as well, right?
Yeah. I write a lot of stuff. I actually was thinking about that when you were talking about, the difficulties of playing shows at bars and all that, because I tend to play almost entirely covers, not only because of the lack of conviction in my original material, but also because it's like really morose,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you always finger pick?
More often than not, I do. Not so much when I'm playing covers. I mean, it depends on the song. But in my original stuff, more often than not, I would say yes.
Okay.
Not without exception, though.
Okay. What type of stuff do you play when you play out?
I play a lot of like stuff that was written before I was born. A lot of Bob Dylan.
Okay.
And Gordon Lightfoot. I mean, I've been trying to incorporate more contemporary stuff. I play some Madonna songs now.
Madonna,
Yeah.
my man.
I was gonna say,
Hey, she was just trending on Twitter for her dance moves, dude.
I
Can
play
you
a lot
do
of old
those?
country stuff. I
there's
like to
one
do that a
song you
lot.
do, and it's slipping my mind that I've told you before is like one of my favorite covers, and I cannot think of it at the moment.
Was it Black Coffee?
It is. I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Peggy Lee one?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh, dude.
I love
that
Peggy
is
Lee,
songs.
too.
Yeah,
that
song,
is
yeah.
it. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. You do that so well.
She's one of the great, she's underrated as a chanteuse. I mean, she's really one of the greats. I mean, like, I think people kind of look at it now and think she's cornball, more or less. But
What you're saying is people sleep on Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
We've kind of messed around with a cover of Borderline by Madonna.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm, it sounds pretty.
I bet it's
Good.
I love
good.
that one. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I
That
bet
was her
it's
first
good.
top 10 hit.
Hey, we can jam it before we leave.
Ooh, there you go.
My only question for Richard really is, when are you going to get on the podcast?
Yeah, man. You didn't send me a message, dude.
Listen, man, like that again, calling back to earlier in the interview here. I mean, when you were talking about how impressed you were with, how often Taylor's playing out and all that kind of stuff, like she's a grinder. She, like some of this stuff happens because she's talented, and talented people hear what she does, and they want to have a part of that. Obviously, whatever, it's an appealing thing, but a lot of it I think comes from the fact that she just has a lot more drive and a lot more conviction about what she's doing. And I'm getting better in that capacity, but honestly, yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I don't go out there and pound the pavement for my own stuff. I think if I had a little more material, I might, feel better about it. I mean, I've got about a handful of originals that like I really will stand on, and I don't feel embarrassed by.
Well, come on and do them and put them on
Let's
Spotify,
go,
man.
do it. Yeah,
bro. Come on, man. So Taylor, just kind of reaching back, you said something interesting earlier that I just want to kind of touch on before we, get the heck out of here. Your transition from love songs to the next thing, right? The Bobby Sues and songs like that. Do you that it's just interesting thinking about that period in your life then and to where you are now, because it seems like you were talking about finding yourself. What is it in the last couple of years that you've really discovered about who you are that puts that belief in what you're doing and does like what Richard says and makes you pound the pavement and do those things that knock on doors and get you into those places that you need to be?
First and foremost, it's all of the people that like truly believe in me have pushed me to just keep trying. And on days when I feel like I'm not good enough and I'm not doing enough and I'm not as good as the next person or whatever, like I hear people on your all's podcast all the time and I'm like, why did they even ask me to be on there? Like I truly do have those imposter syndrome days. So people like Richard and Eric really have become my biggest support musically right now, because they're my band and they push me and they believe in me and they believe in what we're doing. And that really and truly does help a lot. And they're so talented that like if they believe in me, I have to be good, right? And then all these other people are like, you're so good. You're just keep going, keep pushing yourself. And yeah, that's number one, what has transformed the way I think about myself as an artist. And I don't know, it's been a year now almost since my best friend died, and I've done therapy, and I've not written a song about him yet. I'm not ready for that. But I started with the thought of writing a song about him, with thinking about writing about something that was personal but easier to write about. And so I wrote about being in a trailer park, and then I said, all right, I'm going to write about being raised by my grandmother, doing stuff like that. I'm going to keep on unlocking ways to say things that are hard to say and make it palatable for other people to hear.
Well, and I think that's exactly what you do.
That's I agree, and I didn't believe that until like half of a year ago when somebody like the best compliment I've ever gotten is that I'm vulnerable. And so I try to do that, and I try to make sure that I can be vulnerable in a way that people want to hear.
That's exactly what Neil wrote down about you. So that's really funny.
Vulnerability.
That's my favorite thing about myself as a songwriter. And I will take that one and stand on the hill with it and say, yes, that's me. Because that is the only part of it that I truly, really believe in.
I think that's the most important part when you're writing songs.
Because I don't care if you like what I write or not, because I want to write it. Yeah. I need to say it.
It isn't only about the fact that it makes you more confident. It's also that you can access those feelings.
Yeah.
In a way that is palpable
convey
to
them.
And a lot of people have trouble thinking about themselves and those feelings, and they hear us play a song about that feeling. And they're like, oh shit, I have felt like that before. And that's okay to feel that way.
Yeah, I wrote vulnerability, heart, romantic on this piece of paper.
Very romantic. I love love, man. I fucking love love.
We can tell. But I think that the biggest thing about the vulnerability is people know that you're real. And I promise you, if you continue to be true to who you are and true to yourself and write the songs that you have to write, not what you think has to be written, not what you think somebody wants to hear, but you write what you want to write because that's what you've got to do, and continue to do what you're doing. I just have such faith, and I think a lot of people have such faith in your ability. And like Eric said, I mean, you've got a voice that comes off the paper.
Yeah,
it's just a different thing.
It is a different thing. I mean, we always talk about the Monarch on here and how it's such a special place, but what you have is I've known you a long time now, and you have something so special that I feel like not everyone can do what you do. You write, you have this, first off, you have about as best voice of anybody in town, if not the best voice of anyone in town.
You.
And then you got a little great band behind you too. You're writing these killer songs, and it's good to see you believe in yourself, because I know people believe in you. There's I was kind of touching with on the Monarch, everyone who goes in that place says this is a special place. I've never heard anyone who's seen you play not go, that is something special. And I've heard a lot of people say that over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing where the trio goes in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Definitely will have you back. I mean, we're working on some stuff now. Richard may eventually send me an Instagram message.
Yeah, it may be.
Which I'm sure Eric will be in with. All right.
His better half will do it for him.
I'll make sure to do it soon. Thank you so much for having
Eric,
me.
you gotta do it too.
See how I show my gratitude.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm sure Earl will be a part of a lot of the shows that you guys are doing, and when it comes to the festivals and stuff. But
yeah, Earl is always there.
Seriously looking, and he just goes places.
He's incredible.
I'm always lurking.
Yeah.
He's always lurking.
That's how I ended up here.
I said, how'd you get that gig? He said, I don't know.
I said, she's like, how did you end up doing this? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just one day.
Can I say one last thing that touches back on what you all just talked about?
Say whatever you want.
Whatever. Writing songs and all of that. I was at a lock-in birthday party thing a couple weeks ago, and I met this guy. I think his name is Tyler Menard. He is really, really, really talented, and I jammed with him. And I played my song Sober Up, at the jam. And he looked at me and he said, I just got signed by Zach Bryan's record label. He did. He put up a viral video, Zach Bryan shared it on his Facebook. His team reached out to him. He's got a record label. He's going to go record an album with Zach Bryan's. Anyway, it's crazy. So he heard my song and he said, "Can I buy that from you?" I was like, "What? Like for what? You look like you have $0." And he said, "No, I just got signed by Zach Bryan's record label." And I had seen like the day before that Zach Bryan shared his video on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. So I knew it was legit. I was like, "How much?" He said $10,000.
Shut up.
And he said,
I'd have been like, goodbye.
"No," he said,
Goodbye,
I
song.
said, "I don't care if you say like $1,000, I'm $100,000. I'm not going to sell my song."
That's what's up.
He said, "Why not?" And I said, "That's my song."
Yep.
Ah, good for you, because I would have been like, here you go.
I don't ever want.
You
I
can
don't
have my
care if
guitar,
I'm
too.
eating beans and rice
Say
every day.
$20.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
you
got
know
me
what?
$300,
Here's what I'd say.
$350.
Need about
I'd say
You
instead
get
of that,
$350.
why don't you send that to Zach and tell him who should really sign
That's
it?
right.
Tell him, let him
Hey,
sing it and
That's
get,
what's up.
Let's
keep the
hashtag
royalties
Zach
for
Bryan and
yourself.
all of
Yeah.
these promotional
All right, let's
videos
get
that
him
we
to-
do.
Let's get him to sign you and come on the podcast. That'll work for me.
Oh man, what a real country love story.
It would be amazing. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Before we
you.
leave, where can people find you?
We have a Facebook page. You can follow me on my Taylor Katherine Music Instagram, which I post all of our updates as
Oh,
a
yeah.
band on there. And then they each have their individual Instagrams they can plug.
Yeah. Well, mine's not really. I've been toying with the idea that I need to create a music Instagram dedicated because my Instagram now is just my personal Instagram, which is mostly record reviews.
Hey, dude, that sounds like music.
It's
all good.
it's real dork stuff. But my Instagram is Will It Float.
I follow.
And the answer is yes, it will.
It will, buddy.
Yeah, it's a David Letterman reference. If
All right,
if
so
you can get
all
that.
you got to do is make that a business account and leave it the same,
Clearly.
man. Yeah, just make it a business
Yeah.
account and call it your music account. Will It Float Music?
Well, the problem is everyone thinks my name is Will. That's the
All right,
main
well,
issue. Nobody
you
knows
can
what
switch that, right? Can you switch that?
I did that for like
You
a
can
month
change
and a
it,
half
right?
after we
Like-
started playing together. I kept calling him fucking Will.
You're not the only one. This
You
has
guys
been a
got to start
consistent
getting
thing.
each other's names right.
my friend Eric and my friend Will and my friend Richard over here.
Yeah, I also have a tiny social media presence on Instagram. I have an inactive Facebook account, so if you friend request me and I don't accept it, it's because I haven't logged into that in 8 years. But I'm on Instagram at Richard P. Chandler. It's neither a music nor a personal account. It's a mainly inactive account, but I've posted enough times that they know that I'm alive.
I tagged them in everything. Just follow my account.
That's a fact.
Taylor Katherine Music on Instagram, Taylor Katherine Music on TikTok, and Taylor Katherine Trio on Facebook.
All right, you
I
guys.
officially changed it today.
It's
man.
Trio on Facebook.
Yeah, they had to make me wait 60 days after I put the original account on there.
Well, and we are at Top Hill Recording on Instagram, probably Facebook. I'm not sure. Definitely on YouTube. So if you can, subscribe on that. And until next time, you guys, thank you all for coming in.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was a lot of fun.
You guys are awesome.